Ogie and Malik Renew at center floor start this ball game off. Tip controlled by the Hurricanes as Delaware State starting with a 2-3 zone. I've seen a lot of teams open up with the Hurricanes in the zone defense.
You know, we spoke about that last game. Teams are going to force University of Miami to shoot the basketball. Coming in, Miami hasn't been a three-point threat. And it's not because they don't have shooters. They're not really taking the shots. So look at a lot of teams that start with Miami playing zone defense.
And that's a lot of the same if you've been watching Hurricanes basketball. Malik Renew in the paint and finishing over Miles Webb. As now Delaware State will get their first offensive possession. The Hurricanes starting lineup a little different with Ernest Uday Jr. out for a second straight game, and True Washington out with a lower body injury as well. He was phenomenal versus Elon, 18 points and 10 rebounds. He sits out for the first time this season as there's more. A pull-up J is good.
You know, I like this lineup for University of Miami. They can switch a lot of things. Look for them to switch pin down screens. Look for them to switch ball screens. If you have an athletic team, everybody can guard 1 through 5. This is a very unique lineup for University of Miami.
Ramir Moore, the 6th year at his 3rd school, gets the scoring going for Delaware State. A nice cut from Henderson. Can't finish.
Can't finish, but you want to see guys cut to the basket when Malik has the basketball. A lot of times when he has the ball down low, teams are, you know, kind of trying to clutter him up. As soon as you get an open cut, you make that layup. It's an easy basket.
Ponce James with the rock. He was the hero against Division III Keene, a 66-64 victory for Delaware State. A game-winning layup with 1 second to go. Now 6 to shoot. Delaware hasn't got the ball inside the three-point line. Moore sizing up Malovitz. Deep 3. Misses the rim. Hurricanes the other way.
You know, that's what that does. Like I said, Miami is able to switch 1 through 5. If you're not ready for that, you're not going to get really too many open shots. You got to get in the paint, get a paint touch, and look for your teammate.
Malovitz's first shot of the ball game is off the mark. Obasogi tracks down the miss. Miami making it tough for the Hornets to get even inside the three-point line. Miami switching a lot up top. Saw that against Elon, but the Phoenix were able to outplay Miami on their offensive end by hitting a lot of deep shots. That pass goes out of bounds, and Miami will get the ball. Noam Dovrat, early substitution for Dante Allen, who had his best game of his short Miami career to this point. Against Elon, 14 points, 5 rebounds, and a team-high 3 triples.
If you look at that quick substitution, you know, that's a learning experience for a young freshman, Dante Allen, and Jay getting his freshman and speaking to him on what he did wrong.
Delaware State showing a little half-court pressure as well. It's a tie ball game here. Nice find inside to Malik Renew. And another finish over Obasogi.
Malik Renew, he's a tough check down low. You know, once he gets the ball down low and you don't collapse, he's going to score against anybody one-on-one.
Leads Miami with 21 points a game. At a game-high 19 last time out, but 4 turnovers. Wants to keep the ball in the right hands this time around. 3 minutes in, and Miami hold on to a 4-2 lead as James gets hounded by Donaldson. There's a bump on Shelton Henderson, and he's been great so far as a freshman, Jack, but the one area for concern is the foul trouble. He's had multiple games with at least 3 and 2 with 4 fouls.
You know, Shelton plays with a lot of contact, offensively and defensively. As I said earlier, as the season progresses, he's going to be able to look at film and understand, okay, maybe I may not need to shy away from the contact so I don't get in foul trouble early. The University of Miami is going to need him down the line.
A wacky shot for Delaware State doesn't go, and the Hurricanes are running fast, and there's another finish from Renew. 6-point paints from the Indiana transfer.
One thing about this University of Miami basketball team, they're very, very great in transition. Look at them to get to transition and get easy baskets.
They're scoring just under 50 points a game in the paint. It's one of the top totals nationally. Obasogi, no luck working on Renew, has to reset things. The clock now under 10 for Delaware State. Here's James now, lines up a 3, rattles in and out, no good. Henderson with the board. The freshman kicks out, Dovrat, corner 3, short.
I like that look in transition. You know, Dovrat is a great shooter. You know, transition threes are one of the best shots you can get in basketball, especially if you got a shooter, because nobody on defense can really identify where their man is. Great shot. Look for him to continue to shoot that basketball.
A pull-up shot for Obasogi from 10 feet out is no good. Nice defense by Renew, getting a hand in the face. Donaldson knifes through the paint, kicks out now Dovrat. Another three, another miss. As the ball goes out of bounds, and Miami doing what they've done all year long, getting stops, running in transition, and scoring in the paint. Canes lead early against Delaware State, 6-2. Canes up 6-2. Jay Lucas in his first year at the helm for Miami after a lengthy career for Jim Larinaga, one of the best to do it, not only for Miami but in the ACC. 4-1 so far. Nice start for Jay Lucas, who's passed all the tests he's expected to so far to start the year.
Yeah, great start for Jay Lucas. Obviously, you know, at the beginning of the season with a brand new team, expect to see a lot of changes, expect to see him make a lot of different movements, but he's doing a great job leading his basketball team.
They talk about the future schedule for the Hurricanes, what they have dialed up next with BYU, either Dayton or Georgetown and Orlando, and then a road game against Ole Miss. There's a missed shot there from Marcus Allen, and for the first time today. But all the coaches for all those programs have championship pedigrees, not only with his TV tested, but Jay Lucas as well.
For sure. You want to have somebody you can look to your bench and say, you know what, I trusted my coach. And I think Coach Jay Lucas has instilled that into his players to believe in him and trust him, just as Jay Lucas believes and trusts in his players.
Baseline floater for Ramir Moore is short. Back the other way, Trey Donaldson. A triple goes. It's 9-2 Miami, and Delaware State scoring ground of over 4 minutes now as we reach the 15-minute mark in the first half.
That's a great shot by Trey Donaldson. You know, if you watch University of Miami basketball, you want to see him get going and shoot threes earlier. You notice I said shoot threes, not make threes. Guys like that, when he sees one go in, he's going to continue to shoot the basketball.
Now Miles Webb, a triple try, no. Timo Malfitz tracks down the miss. Hurricanes want to move fast and get the zone out of system. There's a reach and foul. And we were talking about just finding that soft spot in zone behind the arc.
For sure, find a soft spot, like I just said. Trey Donaldson hit a three just now. His next play, he was attacking the basket offensively because he he saw the ball going. I think that's really big for athletes to understand. Shoot the three, because if you make one, it does something to your frequency and your energy. You get downhill, you shoot another three, but you got to shoot it to get to that phase.
He's had at least 11 points in every game in a Hurricanes uniform, and something that's improved upon in a short season so far is his passing. He had 10 assists for Stetson, which is a career high for him. Marcus Allen's been moving the paint now.
You know, Trey's the ultimate point guard. He's a pass-first point guard that can score and shoot the ball. That's the type of point guard that you want leading your team.
And an offensive foul. Ramir Moore with the push-off. Henderson comes in to replace Donaldson. On the other side, Adamar Santos getting his first burn of the night, along with Muazabini Adamu, the bigs, in for Delaware State, and that was the question mark. They have a lot of skilled and experienced guards, the Hornets do, but can the bigs match up to Miami, where they've been so dominant this year?
The time will tell. I like how Coach Jay Liggins put Shelton Henderson at the point as a different look, put Dante Allen off the ball. There's going to be a lot of different lineups that the team is going to use in the future. You know, you want to use a game like this to, you know, change up some lineups to see what you got when it goes to the future in March.
Well, so far, Delaware State's defense has only allowed 9 points in 6 minutes. That's an area where Miami has excelled so far this year. A couple of triple-digit totals in back-to-back games against Bethune-Cookman and Stetson before the loss last Sunday against Florida. But that test really showed that Miami could hang around with some of the best teams in the country, never mind the former national champion.
Yeah, if you watch that game, that University of Miami basketball team was in that game. I think they shot 48% from the free throw line. Sheldon Henderson allowed early fouls, and, you know, a couple more free throws made, a couple less turnovers, a couple less fouls. You know, Miami could come out with a victory.
There's Henderson using his physicality and athleticism to give Miami their largest lead of the afternoon. It's 11-2. Dovrat almost comes up with the ball. Now it's Ponce James, the leading scorer for the Hornets. Out of the MEAC Conference. Altuntis gets a hand in there. Now a kick out to Santos. A three goes, and that breaks the scoring drought of over 5 minutes.
Man, when you break a scoring drought with 3 points, man, that does something for you.
Dovrat shuffled in his feet. As take a look, Altuntis gets his left hand, but a nice job by Ponce James to regain the possession and keep that one alive, and it ends up in a triple.
You know, you look at Dovrat in that last three. He missed his first two. Right. As a shooter, he stepped into that, shuffled his feet. They called trial. This shows he wasn't ready to shoot the basketball. As a shooter, you must take that next three, because you never know. That three goes in, you get another one and another one. He kind of shuffled his feet because he overthought about thinking that last one because he missed his first two.
Dovrat didn't play in the first couple of games due to an injury, but now playing in his third as he chats with the referee right near us about what he did there. But in your mind, doesn't even matter if you shuffled or not, just to pull up and get that confidence
Step
going.
into the ball and shoot it.
I think Delaware State stringing something together. Zion Bethia, guarded by aforementioned Dovrat. Just Corey Perkins, a senior. Wilmington, Delaware, kicking it back out, and there's a tip pass in the hands of Miami, and a great switch of pace the other way. It's James. Santos, another three. Front rim, no. Miami continuing the transition offense. Will Dante Allen slow things down? He will, but not for long. Shelton Henderson kicks back out. One more. How about Dante Allen? The ability to slow down, find his spot, set his feet, let it fly.
Great play. I mean, that all started by a good paint touch by Dante Allen, swinging to Shelton Henderson. Shelton Henderson gets a paint touch and then kicks the ball out. That is the key to an open shot. Getting a paint touch, make the defense collapse, and kick it back out to an open shooter.
Man, Jay Lucas would love what you're saying right now. That's what he preaches to this team. And a lot of the players, they understand it. They know that inside-out offense gives you a lot of higher percentage opportunities outside of the arc. Shot clock winding down. Santos gets something up, but well defended by the Hurricanes. Malik Renew back in the game. He has 6 points, leads all scorers, goes inside, and a turnover. Now transition opportunity. Santos, nice finish at the rim on the weak side.
Great finish by Santos. He came down, shot a lot off balance shot, came in strong, got a layup.
How about even stronger, Shelton Henderson embracing the contact. Waterman's had a very positive effect on this Hornet program.
For sure, you look at college basketball in the age of NIL, you look at some of these teams, and some of these teams don't have as much resources to work with as other teams. So you look at that record right there, and you talk about the path of the record was. He's done a tremendous job with his Delaware State basketball program. Look for them to continue to be great in the future.
Coming off their first winning season since 2010 after they went 16-14 last year, finishing top 4 in the MEAC conference. As long as you get to that conference tournament hot, you never know what could happen, especially at the low major level.
And you look at Delaware State on the football side, they brought in, ex-NFL guy,
there you go.
Deshaun Jackson, their head coach. You want to see small changes like that. Those things attract talent to come through. So look for Delaware State to continue to make those moves, continue to get this program to the next level.
Miami comes in the timeout with some full court pressure. It almost gives Delaware State some fits, but they get the ball over. Almost got a good look. Adamu, too strong. Here's Dante Allen, who had the triple before the break. Nice footwork from Timo Malovitz. Nice find, but Renew can't hang on. But the possession continues, and Trey Donaldson has been one of the best guards in the country inside the cylinder. He has just been phenomenal at embracing the contact.
For sure, and he's really great in tight spaces. A lot of times guards, they'll make that spin move. They'll be spinning wide. Trey spins, and he's so tight. His pirouette silhouette is on the money right there.
Canes up double digits, as it almost was a great connection from Malovitz to Renew, but you got Adamu in front of you, who's standing at 6'10", 211 pounds, and Trey Donaldson, all 6'3" of them, is able to muscle up a layup off the glass. And in the opening game against Jacksonville, he might have looked a little out of control, but since he's really been able to find his poise in the paint, which has been Miami's strong suit offensively.
For sure, first game, new team, high expectations. You want to show the world and you want to show your coach what you can do. Obviously, Coach Jay Lucas knows what he can do as he brought him in. But at the same time, look for him to calm down as he has, and he's been an amazing player.
Adamu with the turnover. He's one of 3 Delaware State Hornets who played a couple of years at Harcum College. JUCO school in Pennsylvania. And there's Donaldson again. The hoop and the harm, and chance for more.
Great take by Donaldson. Trey's a very underrated athletic basketball player. Finishes up 2 feet, absorbs the contact, finishes with the M1.
I'm scared of the contact as well. Throwing his whole body at Adamu. Certainly something to be excited for.
For sure. You want to see Trey knock down his free throws. He's an amazing free throw shooter, but this season he hasn't shot the ball, I think, to his expectation of how he wants to make shots. You got to finish your breakfast. I would say lunch right now is at 1:22. You got to finish your lunch.
Yeah, probably. I would agree with you there. Pretty mature cash machine.
Cash machine before he shot it.
He
put his finger up.
I guess he just knew.
He knew it was going in.
21-7, Hurricanes' largest lead. It's 14.
Trey exits the game and says, "Coach, what happened? You got an M1." I think, Jay is trying to use this game to get multiple lineups, get guys some run, to see what he's got when the season gets real. It gets real next week.
They've got a couple days off before heading to Orlando to take on one of the most talented rosters in the entire country in BYU, featured by #1 player in the class of 2025, A.J. DeBonta. Dovrak cross court now to his fellow international. And another one to Altudis. How about that?
Great play by Timo. To be honest, when I see that play, I want Timo to step into that shot and shoot the 3. Obviously, he made the right read, got a paint touch, found his big man. Great finish by the big fella. But once again, I want these guys, any guy that's playing college basketball, be shot ready. Shout out to Steph Curry. He has a book that just came out called Shot Ready. You got to be shot ready when you're playing basketball.
Renew 1-on-2. Remember Norchad O'Meara, they said that's baby food? That looked like right there.
Great move. In the traffic, you're a big man, you split 2 guys.
See it right there with only 7 points, 11 minutes in.
Yeah, if you look at Delaware State's offense, a lot of their shots are very heavily contested. They're taking a lot of contested shots from outside. Miami's getting the ball out in transition and getting easier baskets. If I'm the head coach of Delaware State, I'm going to say, let's try to get some better shots, see the ball go in to get our offense flowing.
We'll see what they do coming out of the timeout. Now an offensive foul on Muazabini Adamu won't help the case. He'll take a seat for Cyril Obasogie, the Nigerian native, who started this ball game off as the big, has taken some time on the Delaware State bench. Now the Hornets back in their zone. Over the top pass is tipped away by Kareem Watson.
Tough look by Timo there. You know, one of the keys to an entry pass is to post. You don't want to stare at where you're passing. Maybe look right and then throw it over the top. That play right there, Timo was staring at his man and then pass it. You know, the defense can react to that. Use your eyes.
Zion Bethia out of South Orange, New Jersey with the rock. 7 to shoot for the Hornets. There's Ponch James, but it gets taken away from Altuntas. How about his hands so far in the early going? Dante Allen, right wing 3. Just short.
Not a bad shot in transition. You know, transition threes are your best threes you can get in basketball.
The Hurricanes 2 for 6 from long range today. Ponch James stops, kicks. That 3 is good. And it's Zion Bethia.
Bethia knocks that shot down because he was ready to shoot before the basketball came.
Fadeaway J goes on the baseline for Dovrat. So not the catch and shoot 3, but does it himself, a little craft down by the baseline.
Craft and pace. He got to the baseline, looked at the big man as he was going to pass. Like I just said last minute, use your eyes to throw the defense off. Use his eyes, looked at the big and got a wide open shot.
Bethia, maybe a bit of a heat check. A deep right wing 3 doesn't go, but nice backdoor cut. Goes up and gets fouled. Dante Allen is down under the stanchion. He's saying that Bethia might have gotten an elbow into the stomach, maybe. But Miami and Odom, respectively. Jay Lucas doesn't want to get caught behind.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good standing for the University of Miami on 2 accounts. You know, one, you can sneak up on people. You know,
right.
If you look at this University of Miami basketball team, you see they have an amazing team. And the second thing is, you know, the players and the coaches really don't have that much pressure because they're not a top 3 or top 4 seed. So it's a good thing for Miami, I believe, to be at that AC because you're right in the cusp of things. And with the new team, you don't want to let anybody know what you got up in your pocket.
Especially after last year's finish. Trey Donaldson gets to go from the far corner.
2 for 2 for Trey from deep. Look for him to keep letting the ball fly.
Up to 11 points, a game high. He's reached that total every game so far in a Canes uniform. Zion Bethia, another poke away by Sally Altuntas.
You know, if you look at Sally, he's got his hands on at least 3 or 4 balls today. That's something that you don't see in the stat sheet. But as a big man with length like him, you want to see him utilize his length on both offense and defense. He's got his hands on a ton of balls today. Great basketball plays by the big fella.
He's become real familiar with the passing lane. 6.5 minutes to go. Canes up 19. Paint touch inside to Renew, who went for the highlight reel poster. Ball just slips out of his hands. We'll get 2 free throws, though.
Great attack. Way to finish strong at the basket. You know, Renew, he's a super finesse player, but he will try to dunk on you if he has the opportunity.
And again, another play for Altuntas that might not show up on the stat sheet, but look at him boxing out Obasogie, giving Renew that ability to take off.
You look at a guy like Altuntas, he's played basketball in Europe, played in Turkey. You know, these are small things that you're taught and you practice that at an early age. You know, small things that don't show up on the stat sheet. As you watch basketball and you're a basketball savant, you see those things. Great play by the big fella. I repeat, great play by the big fella.
Blake Renew, 78% from the free throw line this year. He's 1 for 1 today. Another free throw will get him to double digits. He's up to 10. How about Donaldson and Renew, the 2 Big Ten transfers right now, a combined 8 for 8 from the field. That's what you expected out of them coming in, being the main leaders of this young Miami team, and they're putting that on display today against Delaware State.
For sure, you know, shooting below 50% against Florida in their last game and coming in shooting 100% now. That's what you want to see. You want to see a difference in your shooting.
Donaldson again. Nice find from Henderson to Marcus Allen. And Donaldson caps off that turnover. Now Miami up 34-11. We talked about it in the open. If the defense will be able to step up and not struggle in the first half. Safe to say they answered that call. The Hurricanes have 11 points. And how about this for Delaware State? Only 15 shots in 14 minutes.
You know, one of the things you watch this game right now, University of Miami changing up their defense a lot. They go for a 1-2-2 press to a 2-2-1 press. You know, the strategy with 2-2-1 press is not to necessarily get steals. It's to slow the game down and make the team turn the ball over. You look at that last play, Miami didn't have to trap the ball. Delaware State passed the ball up and turned the ball over just by the defensive pressure and presence by University of Miami.
The Hornets have switched to man themselves. Henderson, after the risky take from Santos, goes up over Obasogi.
Santos tried to get that steal, set his big fella up for a drill. Once again, look at our boy Altutis getting the big fella out the way, making a clear pathway for Sheldon to get an easy basket and one.
He's been real impressive so far, doing the little things for Miami. But we've seen not only Henderson, but Donaldson as well, playing off 2 feet. Henderson can't convert, but gets his own miss. Don't see that one too often. Nice find inside.
Great find and great finish. It's like, you know what, big fella? You created this pathway for me last shot. Let me get you a bucket. And that's what you want to see. As a big man that does the small things in the stat sheet, you got to get him the ball and let him get an easy basket to get his confidence up because everybody loves scoring that ball.
Ponce James layup, misses the mark. Dover, nice spin move. Steps away from James, now resets. 5 to go in the opening half. Miami up 38-11. Henderson open look from 3. Oh yeah.
Great shot, great movement. And as you see, when Sheldon caught that ball, he was ready to shoot the basketball. Everything becomes more intact. Everything becomes more smooth when you are shot ready.
Miami's offense has kicked it up a notch in the latter part of this first half. Now up 30.
Delaware State is having a hard time scoring. If you look at where their offense is initiated, it's almost initiated by half court. They're not getting to the three-point line to create easier shots and get basket touches. Look for them in the second half to get better offensive stability by starting the ball down by the three-point line to get better shots and better looks for your team.
There's a great look. Doesn't go. St. Clair, kick out. Pump fake from Bethea. Now, 2-point jumper's no good, but an offensive rebound, the first one of the afternoon for the Hornets. Banks not open for Santos. Now, Dovret the other way. He's got it.
Great shot. Great paint touch by Trey. You know, Dovret is one of the better shooters on this basketball team. That's why I was disappointed in the last shot where he traveled in the corner. Like, you got to let the ball fly when you're a shooter. Let it fly, let it fly, let it fly.
And the lights show is going on after that triple. And that will send us to immediate timeout with the Hurricanes up 31 team points, a game high. See him on the bench for the Hurricanes. They lead by 31. Dovrat using his body to try to find some space, goes inside to Renew, works around Adamu.
If you watch Dovrat get into the paint, he's never sped up. He almost looks like he's playing slow motion. Great basketball guards, they get into the paint and they play at their own speed. If you look at Dovrat, he's getting in the paint, looking around, using his eyes, and making the right play. But once again, making the right play, playing at your own speed is what you want to see with the ball handler. The
Hurricanes on a lengthy run as Ponce James tries to spin one off the glass, hits the bottom of the rim, but gets a hand in. They're going to call a foul. That's the 8th for Delaware State. So free throws on the way. 1-on-1 opportunity under 3 minutes to go. But talk about Dovrat. We'd said Sally Altutis has had some experience overseas, but Dovrat's 23 years old, played 91 career games overseas, now brings that here to Miami. And we've seen a lot of players come internationally that are 4- or 5-star recruits, but how about the people with really good experience that show it in the little ways?
Yeah, for sure, you can see it. You know, if you look at European basketball versus, you know, American basketball, I think one of the biggest things is speed. In America, we play so much faster on transition, on defense. in European basketball, there's a lot more slower pace getting into sets. And as you can see, Dovrak comes here, plays at his own pace, never gets sped up. When you don't get sped up, you can make the right reads.
Playing fast was what we just saw there as Ponce James, look at an F1 driver, going fast down the lane and gets 2 free throws. James, a preseason MEAC first-team selection after making the rookie team last year. He was the only player for the Hornets in double digits versus Keene in a 2-point win just a few days ago.
Ponce James, make sure before he leaves Miami, they get a picture on Ponce de Leon, straight right around. You got to go to the sign.
It's right out here.
It's right around the corner. Go take the picture. I mean, if they won, maybe, this is my city.
Get down with the team around
yeah, but,
cross the arms.
You can't do that 48-15. Or 46-15, you say.
We have 46-15 as the official score. I think some of the other scoreboards around us say 48, so they're fixing that right now after both those free throws fall for James. Now finally the Hornets, they get a bucket. They're able to go full court. But Miami, a couple good passes between Dante Allen and Timo Malovitz. That tees up Marcus Allen for 3, well short. Goes out of bounds and will give the Hornets possession.
If you heard Jay Lucas right there, he said, good shot. That's a great shot in transition. Get the ball up. Allen is a great shooter. You want to see him step into that shot and be confident and shoot that basketball.
Dean Shepard in this first action late in the first half with the Hurricanes up 31 points. Corey Perkins, son of assistant coach Shahid Perkins, also in for Delaware State. Ramir Moore works around Timo Malovitz. Oh my!
That was a tough basket by Ramir Moore. Great body, slowed his steps down. Right, left, Euro. Finish left hand off the left foot. Great play by Ramir Moore. That looks like, is he from Philadelphia? Is he from Philly?
He is from Philly.
I know it. That's a Philly move. My guy Rodney Green, that great Philadelphia basketball player that played in LaSalle, he loved to do the slow step, finish off either foot, finish with either hand.
He started his career in Philly with St. Joe's before a couple of years with the Wagner program. 120 seconds to go in the first half. Gains up 29, back to his zone for the Hornets. Dovrat loses his man, rises up, can't go. Nice rebound from Dante Allen, who waits. Can't get it to go, but Marcus Allen cleans it up.
Although that shot did not go in, Moore called for a switch and did not switch. Dovrat missed the shot. But on defense, you see small things that you can't say switch and don't switch. If you say switch, you got to switch on defense. Small things that you got to change if you want to be a winning basketball team.
Webb goes up with the right, rattles around, no, gets his own miss. Second try, can't go as well. Altuntis with the rebound. Closing minute and change in the first half. Dovrat gets the ball picked away. Santos the other way. On the left side, another shot that just goes in and out. Altuntis gets the board and gets fouled. So free throws for Sally Altuntis with 63 seconds to go in the first half.
Sally's all over the floor, offense, defense, making plays. If you look at this basketball game, you look at the stat sheet, Sally's stat sheet may not look the best, but he's doing so many things that don't show up on the stat sheet. Hats off to Big Sally from Turkey right now.
4 points, 5 rebounds, a free throw away from a double nickel, but also 0 turnovers. I think it's a big thing with bigs who like to touch the ball a lot is they lose this every once in a while, but Altuntis been really strong with the basketball in his hand. Front end of the 1-on-1 is short. Marcus Allen trying to get the rebound and save it for the Hurricanes, but slides out of bounds.
If I was Altuntis' shooting coach, I would tell him, big fella, when you shoot your free throws, make sure your fingertips are facing the ground. That's going to make the ball go up and rotate the way you want it to rotate. When he shot the basketball, his fingertips were kind of still facing the basket. To all the shooters out there, point your fingertips down to the ground.
Well, Jack, you're a Hall of Famer, so I'd probably take your advice as well.
I would take it too. You don't have to take my advice. I'm just trying to give you guys some tips out there. You know, you're watching a great basketball game right now. Why not get a couple tips every now and then?
Let's see if Delaware State can get a score before the end of the first half. They've been few and far between. Only 17 points to Miami's 48.
You know, I love the defense by Miami right now. They went to a 1-2-2 press. One of the toughest things to do in a 1-2-2 press is after they break the press is identify and guard your man. They did a great job of Delaware State breaking the press and Miami getting on their man.
Perkins with 4 to shoot. Finishes at the rack.
You look at that last play, Jay Lucas was telling his team, don't grab the ball because the shot clock and the game clock won't start till you grab the ball, and they want to get the last shot. And so now there's 2 seconds left for Delaware State to potentially get a shot off. As you go down deeper in the season, small things matter. Let the ball go so you can get the last shot and leave no time on the clock for the opposing team.
Looks like Lucas will not use it or lose it. Timeout. No look pass. Nice find to Renew.
Great pass by Trey Donaldson. Paint touch. And what did I say earlier? It's all about the eyes. He looked right, threw it left. Great play by Trey Donaldson. Great finish by Malik Renew.
Miles Webb shot. Cannot beat the buzzer. Miami up. Even without Ernest Uday Jr., a 28-6 paint advantage. They've been doing it to every team that they've faced this year. The second half is underway here from the Watsco Center in Coral Gables, Florida, on the beautiful University of Miami campus.
You know, look at this Delaware State basketball team right now. They just ran a pin down screen for James, but Bethea didn't set the screen. He kind of like went through and didn't stroke the shoulder and didn't set the screen and get his man open. Once again, I go back to the small things. To being a great team, the small things matter, and getting your man open matters. Go down and you're setting a pin down screen, set the screen and make contact.
Well, Basogi does it himself to start off the scoring here in the second half to get the Hornets on the board. Cut the deficit to 29. Cyril Basogi playing in his first game since Niagara. That was back on the 10th of November. Dante Allen driving, gets hit, will go to the free throw line for 2.
You know, I'm almost getting mad at Timo not shooting his basketball. But every time he doesn't shoot, he makes the right play to get his player a shot. But as you play against better teams, you go down the road, you need to shoot that ball to open up the floor for your other players. Because when he knocks one down, now next time, instead of this guy closing out, you know, he's going to be able to get a basket touch or a paint touch for his own basket. Look for Timo to be aggressive and shoot the basketball.
Dante Allen connects in the first. We talked about it during one of the breaks. In the first 3 games, Timo Malovitz was 8 for 11 from 3. In his last 2, and then adding this game in, 0 for 3. So the numbers have dropped significantly in 3-point attempts for Malovitz.
Yeah, they dropped significantly because he's not shooting.
Exactly.
You know, if you don't shoot the ball, your attempts are not going to increase or decrease. He's going to let the ball fly to see the ball go in the basket.
Bethea, pull away 3, no good, goes out of bounds after Henderson falls on the ground, gets tripped up, but it will stay Hurricanes basketball.
You know, if I'm Delaware State, I might try to pressure University of Miami right now to just change the game up, junk the game a little bit. You know, laying back in the zone, being down 30 points. I don't think that's the right way to play in the second half, the right, you know, strategy. But, you know, this coach, he knows what he's doing. Let's see what Delaware State goes on moving forward.
Another hard drive from Dante Allen, this time the finish.
You don't want to give up straight line drives at any point in basketball. But Delaware State is going to have to watch film and get better if they want to win some basketball games.
You know, in basketball terms, you're not necessarily supposed to dribble through a zone. You might want to pass around it, but Dante Allen finds a soft spot, goes hard to the rim. Bethea has been a spark for the Hornets offense in terms of starting it and getting some decent looks. That one falls short into the hands of Malik Renew, who hands off to Trey Donaldson. The ball has touched Dante Allen's hand the last 3 possessions. One more to Trey Donaldson, who remains perfect from the field and perfect from distance.
You know, I always talk about the universe in basketball. When the ball moves and people move, it always ends up with a great shot. Timo with a hard basket cut. You know, Shelton with a hard basket cut. The ball swings to Trey. Great wide open 3. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
Basogi throws that shot up off the glass. Karam's off the left side of the rim. Now here's Malovitz. Your 3-pointer, Jack. No good, but it leads into a second chance opportunity. Give and go.
Give and go. Great pass. I'm glad Timo shot that basketball. Even Coach Jay Lucas was excited to see Timo shoot that ball. As a basketball player, you want to see your coach tell you, shoot the basketball. That breeds confidence. But you must shoot the basketball.
It all came off the miss from Malovitz, and then a nice find from Dante Allen, a shuffle pass to Malik Renew.
Great
Special
pass,
delivery.
great finish. Special delivery.
Stoppage for a delay of game warning on the Miami Hurricanes. Jay Lucas, just a smile on his side. Miami continuing the full court pressure. It's giving the Hornets some troubles, but here's an open look for Ponce James, and those are the shots that you want if you're Delaware State. Now it's about converting those. The ball goes out of bounds. We'll stay with the Hornets.
For sure, a great look. You know, once again, when you do a press or 1-2-2 press that they're in, it's not always about getting steals. You want the other team to rush shots, and that's what they're getting Delaware State to do. Delaware State just needs to knock down these open shots that they're getting.
Well, we've seen that they haven't started in possession with more than 17 seconds since the opening possession of the second half. Just wears you down and gives you a limited shot clock to work with.
For sure. You know, I'm looking at this University of Miami basketball team and their defense, and at the side of my ear, I keep hearing Coach Lincoln say, go, go, go. Pretty much insinuating trap the basketball. University of Miami is yet to be able to trap the ball in this press that they're trying to do. It's almost like a three-quarter court press.
There's the press. But now it's Ponce James on Malik Renew. A kick out to Santos. Baseline drive and a block. Renew with the stuff. Now 2-on-1. There's Dante Allen.
Great pass, simple pass. Amazing athleticism by the young fella.
Trey Donaldson up to 5 assists. Again, doing it, passing the ball as well. There's a wide open look for Santos, and that shot is going to help you out if you're Delaware State. He leads the Hornets with 8 points now.
You know, that's the kryptonite of doing a press. You get that trap, if you don't trap, you get a turnover or a trap that makes the defense speed up, you give up open shots.
Confident take from Dante Allen. Henderson and Renew converging at the rim for the putback. Both kind of push each other away from the play. The ball ends up in the hands of the Hornets. Jameer Moore tries to go inside, but the pass is tipped away. There's Dante Allen again. Flips it up to Shelton Henderson, who goes into the sky, plucks it out of the air, kick out Renew for 3. Got it!
Great shot. This basketball team is a lot better team when Malik is hitting down his three-point shot.
Malik Renew, 18% from beyond the arc this year. 1 for 1 today.
I'd like to know how many shots Malik has shot, because he hasn't shot a lot of threes this year, which makes his percentage maybe a little bit deceiving. Great pass, great ball move by Delaware State. James has to knock that shot down. Being the starting point guard at any level these days, at high school, middle school, your point guard has to be able to knock down an open shot.
And there's Donaldson doing just that. He is.
Dante Allen is getting an amazing opportunity, as True is out, to show his worth, to show what he's capable of. He's out here playing basketball right now. He does not look like a freshman. He looks like a well-oiled machine, somebody that's been playing college basketball for a couple years. That's what you want to see in recruiting freshmen in college basketball.
Jay Lucas has said over and over again how much Dante Allen impressed in the offseason and in the preseason, and it's shown on the floor in his first handful of games for the Hurricanes. Got his first start against Elon last Thursday and finished with a career-high 14 points. Now he's up to 8 in the absence of True Washington with a lower body injury alongside Ernest Uday. 3 to shoot. Santos up to double digits.
I like what I'm saying from Santos. He's very, very crafty around the basket. Can go right, can go left, can shoot the ball. He has decent size. I really like what I see from Santos on the offensive end.
Size and length of those arms. Malovitz tries to go to Marcus Allen, but the ball gets back tapped away. Here's James, floats it for Adamu. Gets his miss. And we have a timeout. We'll step aside as the Hurricanes lead this one by 40.
It has to start to get real. This is the last game that they have before this stretch where, you know, obviously getting a win like this is going to definitely build your confidence. But at the same time, you can't become lackadaisical and think you've done something by winning by 40 points or beating your team by 40 points right now. But I know Coach Jay Lucas will have these boys ready to play when it comes to playing these teams like BYU, Georgetown, or Dayton.
Both those teams, Dayton and Georgetown, have picked up some good non-conference wins. Dayton just recently beat Marquette on the road. Georgetown beat Maryland earlier in the season. So those are two teams that whoever you get after the BYU game, you're going to have a real challenge on your hand. There's not one or the other that you'd rather play. They're both really solid programs this year. Here's Timo, corner three. There he goes.
Timo is an amazing shooter. I mean, look at his form. Everything's tight. Ball goes up, ball goes down. I always believe as a shooter, you want, as soon as you lift the ball up, you want those fingertips, you want that release to go down. No wasted motion.
Santos. No good. Now up the other way for the Hurricane. Shelton Henderson back in. He just bodies Ramir Moore, but misses it. And how about Ponch James with the hands, taken away from Malik Renew.
Great defense, but as a big, you want to keep that ball high. When it's heavy in traffic, you release the ball, you bring the ball down low. Look up for showtime right now. Ooh, tough pass.
Was looking for the alley-oop. Henderson just corrals it and hits the hardwood, then goes up, gets fouled by Ponch James.
I couldn't even see what happened. He got big Altunas in front of me. I'm trying to see what's happening. Showtime. A man comes in, blocks my view.
And Dovrat's pass just a little too high and wide for Henderson to do anything crazy with it, or else that would have been on SportsCenter top 10. He'll get 2 free throws. Henderson 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Someone who's trying to learn a Division I game and get more comfortable at the Division I level. A lot different than high school basketball, where he was so successful. He committed to Duke and followed Jay Lucas, close family friends of the Lucas family.
That's loyalty right there. Well, I guess it's double loyalty. You know, loyalty, you commit to Duke, but I commit to Duke for Coach Jay Lucas. And that shows you the strength of Coach Jay Lucas. You know, a kid commits to a team, and you were his main recruit, and then he moves where you move, just like that.
Man, Santos got up there but couldn't finish. The Horns will have another look at it. Now Perkins trapped, gets it out to Santos, corner. Now it's Clemens for 3, short. And Miami now gets the rebound. A lot of offensive rebounds and opportunities for Delaware State in the second half, more so than the first. Marcus Allen to try for 3. Doesn't go. He's been short on both of those shots so far today.
He's got to lift his elbow up. You know, on your release, you want to be able to see your elbow above your eyeballs. That's how you know the ball won't fall short.
Dante Allen looked like an all-pro defensive back, picking off the pass and able to draw the blocking foul. That's only the 3rd on Delaware State, so Miami's still a far cry away from the bonus. Donaldson checks in for Renew. Both have 19 points. Both haven't missed a shot either, as Henderson's man falls down. He drives, finishes, as it was John Clemens who tripped up on the left wing, and that allowed Henderson an easy look at the lane.
Good play by University of Miami. That play you just saw with 2 men at the elbow, and your strong guard goes over the top. That is called an Iverson cut, ladies and gentlemen. Allen Iverson, the Philadelphia 76ers, started that play. You get 2.
You're watching the ACC Network Extra alongside the Hall of Famer Jack McClinton. I'm Gavin Bishow, and the Hurricanes have continued their dominance for the first half to the second half, especially on the defensive end.
Great defense. You know, we talked about at the beginning of the game is that Miami needed to come out and set the tone defensively. Delaware State has only scored 6 points in the second half within, you know, it's 9 minutes, 10 minutes of play. Only 6 points given up.
Not a lot of easy looks, especially inside. Adamu tried to create a shot himself. Gets the side iron. Donaldson working his way up the floor the other way. Delaware State started this ball game in zone, and they've gone back there sparingly, but Miami having success against most that the Hornets have to offer. Mismatch down low. Oh my, sweet move from Sally Altuntis. A little dream shake.
Great play. You know, you look at the initiation of the offense. We had 3 dribble handoffs. The first 2 dribble handoffs were just to kind of get the ball moving. The third dribble handoff was to a ball screen to get big fella the shot. But, you know, deceiving offensive set by University of Miami.
Santos with 7 to shoot. He's the leading scorer for the Hornets. Might have gotten away with an offensive foul. Won't get away with this extra step.
You know, it was coming. You know, a lot of times you're dribbling and pounding the ball and not going anywhere. It always ends up to bad basketball plays. I love Santos trying to get the ball downhill and try to create a shot for himself, but great defense by University of Miami.
Malik Renew comes in and almost throws it away. Nice defense from Corey Perkins, but Donaldson able to regain possession for the Hurricanes, who lead 73-26. Immediately going inside to Renew over Santos. Gets hit and finishes at the rack.
You look at a play like that, you just call weight room. Santos is very tall, but he needs to put some more meat on the bones right there. Malik is a big power forward, and once again, when Malik gets the ball down low and he's one-on-one, I like him against anybody in the country to score the basketball if there's only one person guarding him.
Malik 3 inches taller, 40 pounds heavier. That's a mismatch that you want to take advantage of, and the Hurricanes doing it immediately upon Renew's return. 3-point play gives Renew 22 on the afternoon. Now the new game high in total. Donaldson trailing right behind him with 19 points. Miami shooting 67% from the field, 30 for 45. Really impressive clip, and almost as impressive is the 9 for 16 from deep. And there's a takeaway from Donaldson. Bump Santos, clears the way, and finishes.
Man, it sucks for Santos. I'm mad. I mean, I know he's a little irritated, like, why they keep bodying me up? But at the end of the day, that's a great offensive play by first Malik Renew getting into the body. And next trade Donaldson by identifying, let me get into this body to make my layup a lot easier.
And with those long arms from Santos, if you don't clear that lane, could get a hand in there. Fadeaway 3 from Corey Perkins goes.
Great shot by Corey Perkins. They're going to need a lot more of that to make this game close.
Miami not slowing down. Another no-look pass from Trey Donaldson. This time to Altuntis, no good, but a rebound from Malik Renew. Looking for a corner look at Shelton Henderson. The ball gets tipped out of bounds in the process. We'll stay with the Hurricanes.
You know, speaking of European basketball, you know, you got Timo, you got big fella Altuntis, you got
Dobrad in there as well.
You got Dobrad in there as well. One thing that Europeans do when scoring the basketball, they're very good at using their off arm to shield the defense before they shoot the basketball. Please pay attention to that. All the viewers out there, watch how European basketball players use their opposite arm to shield the defense when trying to finish.
Malik Renew continues to do damage in the paint. It's the 42nd paint point for the Hurricanes compared to only 8 for Delaware State. Hasn't been easy going in that area. Perkins, though, trying to get it to go. There's a nice pass to Santos, but denied at the rim. Timo Malovich a 3. He falls down, gets hit. That's going to be a landing space foul on Ponce James. And Malik Renew now up to 10 rebounds. The double-double for the senior.
Just think, if he doesn't shoot that 3, he doesn't get that foul. Great things happen when you let it fly.
Ponce James obviously does not have the height advantage on Timo Malovich. So try to get his hand up there, maybe too aggressive of a jump towards the shooter. Collided knees, and now Malovich will get 3 free throws. First one is buttered. And when we look at the European game, a lot of just crafty ways to find open shots. You have the Spain screens where you're manipulating a pick and roll, and I always love watching those highlights because you see something new that you don't see in college basketball on the American side.
Yeah, for sure. If you think about European basketball and American basketball, you know, over here in America, we have a lot of freakish athletes, and sometimes, you know, guys are getting drafted just by athleticism. But in Europe, you may not have the same type of athletes, but you have, you know, athletic sets. You have sets that are deceiving, sets that set you up for one thing, but obviously that was just a setup. You know, I love the European basketball offense. If I was a coach, I'd be taking a lot of stuff from the European basketball.
Malovich hits the first 2 and then misses his first free throw of the year. on the third attempt. But now Miami up 82-29. Here's Santos again, who's been holding the ball a lot in the second half. There's a good look inside. That time it's Cyril Obasogi. Timo thought about a corner three. This time it's Dovrat inside to Altutis. Gets hit and finishes at the rim.
I love how they're getting Altutis involved in the game today. It's a great confidence builder for Altutis. Ernest Uday's out. Altutis is coming in, shielding the man off. He knows he has a smaller guy on him. Goes straight up, finishing and one. You want to see his fingertips go down on this free throw. If you're watching, let's see how his fingertips react to the release of this basketball shot.
Again, that was on Santos. That's his fourth. Got to be careful with 8:35 to go. Check out the form on Altutis. A little better.
A little better. It went in. Fingertips still went out to the side.
As J.J. LeBoy comes in for the first time this afternoon. He's playing in his fourth game. Corey Perkins takes advantage, but goes corner and sails that one out of bounds.
You know, J.J. LeBoy comes right in the game, and Delaware State's trying to go directly at him. Great help defense, great defense by J.J. to commit a turnover for the other team. Cause a turnover for the other team, might I say.
Not many people know. LeBoy, another close family friend of the Lucas family, had ties there in Texas, was initially committed to Columbia in the Ivy League, and then followed Jay Lucas to Miami. Marcus Allen, there it goes. You've seen a couple of those come up a little short.
Great shot. If you look at his release there, his elbow, he finished high. It's above the eye. Finish high above the eye. Increase your percentage of shooting a basketball shot.
I feel like cut this broadcast up and get a handful of basketball lessons.
Well, for sure, that's what we do. We got to give him something.
Exactly.
Something to take home. We got your notes over here. You got the rim.
Yeah.
But that could be a basketball.
It could be basketball.
But we get you.
I practiced it with the volleyball.
You did. You did. Great job. Great job.
I appreciate it.
Great wordplay.
And that's a team that's trying to get a hosting opportunity in the NCAA tournament in just a couple of weeks. The team on the court, though, a long way to go till March.
For sure. If you look at Shepard's free throw, look how his shooting hand taps around the ball before he shoots it. It's moving a lot. A lot of extra movement on that shot. You want to keep the ball firmly in your hand before you shoot the ball. His thumb moved, his index finger moved. I wouldn't recommend that if you want to become a shooter. Keep the ball stable on your hand before you shoot. We got Jordan Key in the basketball game now. Transfer from Georgia, Florida guy in the game. 7:30 left.
LeBoy's shot is off the mark. Altutis hits the deck trying to get the offensive rebound, but goes out of bounds. LeBoy and Key both playing in their fourth game. Key was limited to just a couple of minutes in some exhibition matches last year for Georgia, but you mentioned it, returning to Florida to play for the Hurricanes.
You know, these opportunities for guys like J.J. LeBoy and Jordan Key, you want to show Coach Lucas, hey, you can trust me to put me in the game when it's game time. You want to see them to come out, be aggressive, be confident, and be in the right places on defense. That's the key. Offense will take care of itself. Be in the right place for defense.
And also for the situations where we've seen Miami get into trouble with is with fouls. Today, that's not the story, but in previous games against Florida, they found themselves in some just not good spots when it came to foul trouble. And so you're going to need some guys off the bench to give you a couple of minutes so you can have your starters and key role players in the final stretch of those basketball games.
For sure. You hit it right on the head there.
Dovrat also getting a lot of play for the Hurricanes today. LeBoy thought about another three. Resets. To shoot now for the Hurricanes. LeBoy thought about a baseline drive, stopped. Stan Waterman, the next of us, wanted to travel, but got a steal, so a turnover regardless. And there's a hard drive and a foul.
You want to feature big fella down there. He had a mismatch down low. He's posting up for about 5-6 seconds. You got to get the ball inside and reward your big fella for all the things that he's doing on the defensive end and rebounding the basketball.
Jordan Key, the guilty party, will send Zion Bethea to line. And what a journey he's had from South Orange, New Jersey, playing at his 5th school. Started his career at Hofstra, then a year at St. Francis Brooklyn before they ended their basketball programs in Division I, a year at Delaware, a year at Pepperdine. So he's going coast to coast here now, bringing it back to the East Coast.
How is that? How was that even possible? COVID year?
I would believe so. That first year with Hofstra.
It's great. You love to see these young men get opportunities, continue to showcase their game, and opportunity to play ball after college.
And how about
love
this
to see it
for Bethea? This is not his first time playing the Hurricanes. He had 4 points in 18 minutes versus Miami back in 2022, a part of the St. Francis Brooklyn squad. Santos looking for a receiver, can't find anyone. Now Miami on the break. Dovrat up with the right, easy.
You never want to take it to the basket and jump to make a jump pass. You want to play off 2 feet. Once you jump, you got to throw the ball, and sometimes if someone's open, you're caught in with a turnover. Just like the last play by Santos.
Early in this broadcast, we've seen Donaldson and Renew emphasize that, playing off 2 feet, and they both are extremely good at finishing in the paint.
You know, 2 feet is a paint killer, because once you get in the paint, you absorb the defense. So now if I'm off 2, I can pivot right, I can pivot left, I can shoot, I can pass. When you finish off 1 and jump, all you can do is shoot or pass. You remove the ability to pivot right, the ability to pivot left.
Obusogi gets knocked by Marcus Allen. His first foul on the afternoon. Right, it's a team 5. Delaware State was 6, so the Hurricanes in the bonus the rest of the way out. First free throw's no good. As a team, Delaware State 5 for 10 from the charity stripe. Usually a 70% free throw shooting team, but not that many looks today from the line. Miami playing very clean defense, which makes the 33 points as impressive.
For sure. Great defense, great team defense, great help. Now that's what you want to see. Defense is not an individual sport, just like offense is an individual sport. You have to talk, you got to be help side, you got to be ready, you got to be there to support your teammates.
So you can't cash in on either free throws. Here's Malavet's left wing 3. No good. An opportunity for a second chance for the Hurricanes, and Marcus Allen comes up with it. Now Malavet's cross-court pass. Jordan Key. No good. Another chance, and Altuntas this time makes no mistake about it.
Altuntas' offensive rebound finishes with the left, but that right hand is right near that left hand to block off the defense. Great finish, great rebound by the big fella.
Miami up to their season average in points in the paint at 48 as they lead by 59 points.
Great defense by LeBoy. That's how you show your coach. Coach, I can be on the court. I deserve to be on the court. Great defense by J.J. LeBoy.
You see True Washington, Malik Renew, Trey Donaldson all hyping up their boys on the floor. Turnover, though, for Delaware State. They got numbers up ahead. Dean Shepard goes to the rack.
Tough play. 2 turnovers in a row by J.J. LeBoy. I hope it doesn't haunt his confidence and haunt his aggressiveness. Stay aggressive. Be ready to shoot the basketball and make a play for your team.
There it is. Straightaway 3 off the mark. Ball tipped around. Obusogi comes up with it. Just over 4 minutes to go in this contest. Miami steamrolling. Santos might have gotten away with an extra step. Goes up with the right. In and out. LeBoy looking hard inside Altuntas, nothing doing. Another triple try. Missed again short, but there is Sally Altuntas again with the putback.
I really love to see this from Sally Altuntas. He's going to be a great, great contributor to Miami's future if they want to compete at the next level in March.
Jay Lucas burns a timeout, and we'll step aside for the final media timeout with Canes up big. Hopefully that experience in that environment against that competition can help Miami in Orlando on Thursday against a talented squad, and then they'll have a quick turnaround and play again on Friday night against either Dayton or Georgetown.
You know, that's what you want to see early. You want to see where your team is early on, so when you know what to do when it comes to March, you come to February, What are the things we need to work on? What are the things we do well? What are the things we do bad? Have these opportunities early to kind of have a trajectory or to kind of have some type of scale on what you got to do if you want to compete later on in the season.
It reminds me of Hurricanes team 2 years ago. They played a couple of tough matchups versus Kentucky and Colorado, got blown out in both, but the rest of their schedule was low majors and mid-majors, and they had success. I think we're good at 17-7, and they lost 10 in a row to end the year against ACC teams. You don't challenge yourself enough. You don't put yourself in that good of a situation early on. You don't know where you stand when you get into a schedule that you get in the ACC, where it could be, what they say in football, any given Sunday, but any given night in the ACC, you're going to have top tier.
And you got to think, in the ACC, these teams have a lot of film to scout. You face an ACC team, you've already had 10 to 15 games worth of film that if a team has a great scout and great coaches, you know how to strategically plan yourself for that potential game against an opponent.
A boy, well, runner, no good.
One thing I will say about this Delaware State team right now, they're down 94-37. Not the best look overall. But I will say, the sneakers that Delaware State is wearing, no, this is like some of the best sneakers that I've seen in college basketball right now. You got the Coves, you got the old Giannis's, you got the Jaws, like very unique colorways.
It's an array of colors too.
They might win the shoe battle today. I mean, we got a couple pinks, a couple green and oranges, but
JJ and Marcus, who got the foul.
I give Delaware State the win on the sneaker battle tonight.
Now, what are your thoughts about the players like Jordan Key, Trey Donaldson that wear two different colors of the same shoe?
It's funny because I believe that shoe in green and orange, they come together as two different colors. But the confidence to do that, you got to have the confidence. You look at Jordan King and Trey Donaldson, they're very loud, they like colors. So I would see guys like that rock the shoe. They make it look good. You remember a light-skinned brother thing.
Jordan Key, who has the mismatching shoes.
And they got the tats on the leg,
right.
Guys that wear mismatch. Most guys that wear mismatched shoes have tats on the leg. We should do a poll about that. Mismatched shoes if they have leg tats.
I'll start marking it down from here on out. Key on the bump, on the rebound on the other side. Puts Bethia at the line. No relation to Jalil Bethia.
It's funny. Every time you said that, I kept thinking about Jalil.
I looked it up. I had to make sure because, well, he was Miami's highest touted recruit last year, and now he's with Alabama. Miami brought back no one from last year's squad. Delaware State, very minimal, bringing back only 13.5% of their scoring. Lost all players in double digits that averaged that much.
Great ball movement. You understand that this is a well-coached basketball team. It doesn't matter who's in the game. They all play the right way. Swing the ball.
Hurricanes haven't had much success from three as of late, but Delaware State trying to take advantage. Corey Perkins, right wing three. Got it. Just the fifth made three on the afternoon for Delaware State. Comes a little too little, too late. Dovrat, nice find to Key. He might have got bumped and braces. Nice pass.
Great play. Broken play. Great finish. Great pass.
A lot of movement in the paint. Always got to slow yourself a little bit. Nice find to Dovrat. Now Jalen St. Clair, true freshman, kicks out to Kareem Watson. Now with 11 to shoot. Corey Perkins will look over the offense, and a foul again on Marcus Allen on a bump. That will be his third.
I'm not mad at that call on the bump. It just shows you're playing aggressive and you're getting your body onto the defense. I'm not mad at that. You want to see guys like Marcus Allen with that build that he has make the offense feel you.
Donald, 1-1, misses the front end, and the Hurricanes get the ball.
I would love to see Damu hold his follow-through. Every time he shoots, he's bringing it down. This is another tip for the shooters out there. Hold your follow-through. See what you did wrong or right on why you made or missed the shot. Do not shoot the basketball and drop your follow-through.
LeBoy skips through the lane, gets hit on the way up. 2 free throws for the freshman. We talked about Miami playing BYU on Thursday. Up next for Delaware State, a game against Division II Virginia State on Wednesday at 2:30 in the nation's capital. Their next Division I opponent next Saturday at UMBC.
I want to see JJ LeBoy get a point right now.
There it
Good
is.
shot, JJ.
That's his first basket, or point, you should say, of his collegiate career.
That's got to feel good.
Always good.
You know, coming in as a freshman, seeing that ball go in at this level of basketball, great feelings. Thanksgiving's coming up. A lot to be thankful for. First basket in college basketball.
Big milestone. Especially for LeBoy, who's had some crucial time on the floor. Watson works around Malavitz. A nice move, can't finish. Adamu with the offensive board. Corey Perkins with the aforementioned colorful shoes. Nice pull-away shot over Dovrat. Ball goes out of bounds. Will stay with the Hornets, but way to create a shot. You see both Perkins and Santos is on the bench. When things haven't been going well for Delaware State, they've still been able to create good shots for themselves.
See, that's what happens when you have crafty guards, and crafty guards are the confidence that demand the ball. Perkins is very shifty with the ball. And he's looking to get a shot for himself first and second for his teammates. You can see that he might be a scorer in his past life and life before basketball.
Most likely the last possession for Delaware State. Dump off pass, kick out. Clemens left wing 3. No good. Miami gets it. LeBoy moving up, finds Key, who will reset things. The shot clock turned off. 10 seconds to go, and that will do it. Here from the Watsco Center, the Hurricanes, an impressive 97-41 win over the Hornets.